It's Oscar Sunday. Yeah. And welcome to my annual Oscar prediction show here on Dylan Knows. This is my second live show of the day. I did one literally about 5 minutes ago. I just finished that one up. So I figured I'd switch some gears, wear some Oscar gold today, and do my usual Oscar prediction show. Now, to be fair, I wasn't originally going to do an Oscar prediction show this year because honestly, I hadn't really been that invested in the Oscars this year. I am not liking the direction in some aspects that they're going into. I think the show without a host is fine. Uh, the fact that they want to try to cut down the length of time is fine also, but the way they're going about it is totally off wrong. And I know they're trying to gain their ratings a bit more. As I said before, the best way to do that is to move it to a Saturday night. And that way you can do everything you want to do, a 4-hour show if you want, just because the people will watch it if you make it entertaining and maybe keep some, add some local flair, because not everybody are film people, even though this Oscars are really for film people. But no, the people who might be interested in watching it are not, to make the, let me just say, to make the ratings bigger, the people you want to get to watch the show, are not your typical movie watching people. We have professional film watchers like Lisa Marie Bowman and the Cluricon and everybody, Patrick Smith and Scott Troutman and myself. We're all professional film watchers. And there are hundreds of other ones that it's a Hollywood award, so most of Hollywood is going to be invested in also. But if you want to get the guys in the Midwest and the women down south or whatever, you want to try to, make things a little bit more popular. So this year they did some of the nominations, I think, worked out pretty good. And I think it should be a pretty good Oscar audience. But the problem is, do it on a Saturday, because that way you can do all the bells and whistles that you want, make it a big event or whatever. That way, if it ends after midnight, people can go to bed and then they have all Sunday to recover and then go to work. Now it's Sunday. The show starts in about 6.5 hours. So, you don't really have, and then it's going to go, they're going to try to aim it to be a 3-hour type of window. We'll see if that actually works. If it doesn't, it should be okay. But here's the problem I'm having with that then. They're going to have some of the awards be done during commercials. And then at the end, they'll say, and these are who won this. And here's a little snippet of their award, their speech. And I don't like that. I think every award, even the most smallest ones, short film animated, short film live action, to even the biggest ones, they all need to be shown live on TV. If you want to cut the broadcast time, I like the idea of cutting a host, or if you have a host, don't have like a 10-minute monologue to start the show and all these little stupid gag things they do in between. Just let them, segue into other awards, and then cut down on the amount of, this is our look at, action films and filmmaking, and do, those types of things, And then also what I would do is I would bring back having everybody perform their original songs to make it more entertaining. As I said, move it to Saturday. You can make it 4 hours long, but you got to cut some of the extraneous BS. And then, and then people might be able to like to watch it a bit more. So we'll see what happens. Now, the big controversy is one of the awards that they're not going to be showing live, which is a mockery of the Oscars, is the Cinematography Award. Cinematography is filmmaking. It is the art of filmmaking, and it needs to be shown live on the show, not on a commercial break. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I think everything should be shown live, but if you had to cut some to make the show go quicker, and no offense to the people who do it, but do like the short film animated, short film live action, documentary short subject type of stuff as well. The stuff that, the typical film going crowd who you're trying to get to watch your Oscars don't get a chance to really see too much. As I said, I would rather have them do it live on the show as well. And I'm okay with it being like 4.5 hours long, as long as you cut the extraneous BS. But you don't put cinematography during commercial breaks. You just don't. That is what filmmaking's all about. Rant over. Am I going to be watching? I keep saying to myself, no, I'm not going to be watching it. But the more and more I think about it, I probably will. check it out a little bit just to see what it looks like, but I'm still kind of angry about it. Now, as I said, this year has been kind of weird. I actually really haven't done as much research as I would have liked. I did some, and I know some from reading and stuff like that, but it's just sort of what I've heard from other people saying, and their predictions as well. And I've strayed from a few that I've gone and picked ones that I think should win personally. I'm also going to be sharing Lisa Marie Bowman's predictions and Scott Troutman's predictions as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. And of course, follow along with Twitter. If I do get onto it, it'll be fun to watch Lisa Marie Bowman, Patrick Smith, myself, maybe even Scott Troutman coming on and live tweeting the Oscars. So that's still a possibility. We'll see what happens. So in celebration, I'm drinking Mountain Dew Black Label, which is actually not a bad Mountain Dew. It's crafted dark berry Mountain Dew. You cannot get it in 6-packs. You can only get it in this type of style. So I figured a Black Label drink for a classy event. Also, those who've watched my Oscar prediction show every year that I've done it, I've done 5 since I've been on the air for 5 years. Notice that I'm not wearing my usual suit and tie. I figured gold would be good. I got a gold shirt this year, gold, Oscar gold. Why not? Sort of bled out by the light I have because this basement is terrible lighting, but that's besides the point. So I'm going to save the big ones for last, obviously, and I think I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go from. My Oscar ballot is printed out from Vanity Fair with my picks on it. I think I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up and do it that way. I've written down Scott Troutman's predictions because he was kind enough to share it both on Twitter and Facebook to me. And I'm sure Lisa Marie Bowman would not mind if I released her predictions as well. Now, Lisa's the one who of all of us, I think, has the most experience with, Patrick Smith might be a close second, and I didn't get anything from him, which is fine. But Lisa's the one that's what she does. I mean, she watches films and she does reviews for unobtainium.com. And she's the one who's seen probably all this stuff, and she knows what she's talking about. Now, her picks, I think, are also they're personal. A lot of these predictions are ones that you want to see the win, and she might not necessarily be putting herself in the mindset, same with Scott and same with myself, into what Hollywood is probably going to pick. It's one of these will win and who and what should win. Lisa tends to be the ones, these are the ones that she believes should win. And I looked through her stuff earlier. She jumps away from a lot of what I've been seeing on the local media. I did a couple checks I did about 3 different, I did RogerEbert.com, I did EW.com, EntertainmentWeekly.com, and I did one called Gold Derby and looked at their picks. And a lot of them are very similar. There are slight changes here and there. So they're ones that are more in the know, I guess. Lisa's tend to be more about what she and her gut feels should win, and not necessarily what probably will win. And then Scott's is just what he feels would win also. And same with me. So we'll go from the bottom up. So again, to reiterate, last year I went 18-6, which is I think it was like my best year in almost like 2 or 3 years. And we'll see how well I do this year. So if you want to maybe win any pools you're doing or whatever, you can listen to what I have to say and go with what I say or Lisa would say or Scott would say, or go online and check for yourself or make your own picks. Go ahead. Without further ado, here we go with the first award of the night. It's short film animated. The nominees are Animal Behavior, Bao, Late Afternoon, One Small Step, Weekends. My prediction, my prediction is Bao, which is the Pixar short that was before Incredibles 2, maybe, about a woman who made a Chinese food thing. I forget what it's called. I eat them all the time. Steamed Steamed. I can't think right now. Dumpling. That's what a steamed dumpling. And the steamed dumpling is comes alive, and she treats it like a baby, and then it starts growing up and getting older and becoming rebellious and all this stuff, and then eventually she gets pushed too far and ends up eating it. And everyone was freaking out. I was like, what the hell just happened? It is a metaphor for her child growing up. It wasn't a real food dumpling came to life. It was a metaphor for her child, who was a baby, and how he loved his mom so much. And then as he's getting older, he wants to separate himself, and he starts making bad decisions. And she doesn't, well, in her eyes, made bad decisions that she doesn't approve of, so on and so forth. This is one I actually saw. I actually enjoy this one. I think Bal's going to win. Scott Troutman, we're all over the place. I think Scott Troutman believes Bao was going to win also. And Lisa Marie Bowman, who's probably seen all of these, she thinks Animal Behavior is going to win. So there you go. 2 out of 3 pick Bao. The other people I've been seeing have been picking Bao also, but Lisa Marie Bowman knows her stuff. Animal Behavior is her choice, so we'll see what happens. Pixar tends to have a monopoly on those awards. Short film live action. The nominees are Detainment, Fauve, Marguerite, Mother, and Skin. Now, I haven't seen any of those. I tend not to see the short films. I picked Skin because that's what a couple of different websites have chosen. I'll be the first person to admit that's sometimes how I pick these. So I picked Skin. And short film. My handwriting is awful here. Oh, here we go. Both Scott Troutman and Lisa Marie Bowman say Detainment is going to win that one. So that might be one to keep an eye on. They picked Detainment. I picked Skin. We'll see what happens. Documentary short subject. The nominees are Black Sheep, Endgame, Lifeboat, A Night at the Garden, Period, End of Sentence. I picked Period, End of Sentence, again, going by what a few people online are saying. Lisa Marie Bowman has Endgame winning. And Mr. Troutman has... My God, this is terrible. First Man. Does he have it on here? I can't. Oh, Black Sheep. He has Black Sheep winning. Okay, so you got 3 different choices. You have Black Sheep, Endgame, and Period, End of Sentence. So again, the documentary short subjects, the live action ones, are always kind of hard to predict on that one. Now, visual effects is one that they're probably always going to air because it tends to be the films that are hugely popular out there and will get the viewers who might not be the film people, but they're the ones that usually get the people's choice, because here's the nominees for visual effects. Avengers Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, and Solo, A Star Wars Story. I say Avengers Infinity War is going to win. Just the dusting of the heroes, the special effects, the Thanos stuff, all the craziness that pertain to Infinity War. I think it deserves to win. And I think Lisa Marie Bowman and Scott Troutman both disagree with me. Yes. No, actually, Lisa Marie Bowman has picked Avengers Infinity War to win visual effects also. And I think Scott picked First Man to win as well. He picked First Man to win. Lisa and I both picked Avengers Infinity War. This is one of the ones where I've seen either Avengers Infinity War or First Man. There were a few people who picked First Man, and there are a few people who picked Avengers Infinity War. So go with that as you will. So we'll see about that. Next up is film editing. The nominees are Black KK Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, and Vice. I picked The Favorite, which is a period drama that I don't really know much about till I started doing my research for it. But I figured that was the one that a lot of people were picking as well. Scott Troutman had picked for film editing the movie Vice. And Lisa Marie Bowman has picked for Best Editing Black Klansman. So we've got 3 different choices. So one of us might win unless Bohemian Rhapsody or Green Book slides in, but one of us should win. I picked The Favorite. Scott picked Vice. Lisa Marie picked Black Klansman. So we'll see. Lisa really likes Black Klansman, so I think that's why she's really going for it in hopes that it's going to win. I haven't seen it, but I'm extraordinarily excited that Spike Lee, who directed it, got nominated for Best Director. So that's film editing. Production design. The nominees are Black Panther, The Favorite, First Man, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma. When this movie first came out, back in February of last year, I said it would be a crime if it did not get nominated for Academy Awards for a few, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because it did, and that makes me very happy. But I also said it would be a crime if it didn't win. This is one where everybody seems to be picking The Favorite. Production design, it's a period piece. You know, those tend to win the production design Oscars. But to me, when I saw this film in last February, and was blown away by the sets, the production design, costumes, whatever, I truly believe Black Panther should win this one. I think it should. I think the design of Wakanda was just absolutely outstanding, and it should be recognized as such. Lisa Marie Bowman, I think, disagrees with me. She picked The Favorite, and Scotty picked The Favorite also. So those two voted against me. But to be fair, it's probably a 2-person race. I think Black Panther and The Favorite. And The Favorite probably has the edge because everybody else seems to be picking The Favorite as well. But I just think the production design of Black Panther deserves to win. And if it doesn't, I'll be disappointed. But I'm picking Black Panther. But if you want to go with what everybody else seems to be going for, you can pick The Favorite. I personally think Black Panther should win this one. Cinematography, which is the one that sets off this whole thing, this should always be aired live because it is the art of film and it needs to be aired live. But in this case, it is not going to be, and that is in itself is of a crime. I think this is the first one that all 3 of us agree on. Let me just double check that before I, yep. So pretty much, this is pretty much, you could say, a dead cert on this one because the 3 of us agree on it. And all the pundits I've been seeing also agree on this. So the nominees for cinematography are Cold War, The Favorite, Never Look Away, Roma, and A Star is Born. Everybody in the world is picking Roma to win. So I would probably make that as one of the dead certs. There's actually a bunch of dead certs, to be honest, in here. So that one is probably definitely one of the ones that's going to be up there. Got to mark off. Forget about it. There we go. Costume design. Again, well, we'll talk about that. Costume design. The nominees are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Mary Queen of Scots. Again, when I saw this movie back in February of last year, I said if it did not get nominated for Best Costumes, it would be a crime. It did. If it does not win for Best Costumes, it would be a crime also, though everybody seems to be against me on that one as well. I picked Black Panther for Best Costume Design. Lisa Marie Bowman has picked Black Panther also. So yay, Lisa. And of course, I think Scotty is against us. He's picking, oh, he picked Black Panther also. Hey, all 3 of us agree on that. But again, here's the thing. So good on that. So good on handshakes, fist pumps, all you guys. The thing about that is, again, period pieces tend to do better when it comes to costumes and production design. So if Black Panther doesn't win, look for The Favorite to pull this one out also. I think Black Panther deserves to win, as do Lisa and Scott. But everybody else seems to think that The Favorite deserves to win. So we'll see. But those, again, is another 2-person race between Black Panther and The Favorite. So this one is pretty much a dead cert. I have to check. Yeah, it is. This one's pretty much a dead cert for everybody. So this one is pretty much going to be a no-brainer and a win for all of us. But best makeup and hairstyling, the nominees are Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. Everybody in the world is picking Vice. I picked Vice. Lisa Marie Bowman picked Vice. As did Scott Troutman, picked Vice. So 3 of us all picked Vice. Everybody I looked at, EW, Roger Ebert, I don't get the name right, Gold Derby. Yep, Gold Derby, all picked Vice as well. That's pretty much dead cert also. Sound mixing. The nominees are Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, A Star is Born. This one seems to tend to be a dead cert as well on a lot of them as well. Sound editing, I've picked Bohemian Rhapsody. Lisa Marie Bowman has picked Bohemian Rhapsody. And Scott has picked Bohemian Rhapsody. So again, we all agree on this one. When you make a film about musicians, it tends to win the sound mixing and sound editing awards. While Star is Born is, yes, indeed also about musicians, this one is about a real musician, Queen and Freddie Mercury, whereas Star is Born, while it stars Lady Gaga, who is a real musician, she's playing a role of a character that is not a real musician in our world. Sound editing, the nominees are Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, A Quiet Place, and Roma. Now, A Quiet Place would be an interesting thing because there was no sound, basically, in A Quiet Place. But in the end, as I said before, everybody in the world is picking this as well. I picked it. I know Scott picked it, and I know Lisa Marie Bowman picked it. Bohemian Rhapsody is going to win this. Again, movies about musicians are going to win the awards more often than not. Original song. The nominees are All the Stars from Black Panther, I'll Fight from RBG, which is actually a documentary feature, which is interesting that a song was nominated from a documentary feature. The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns, Shallow, A Star is Born, When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Again, this one is another dead cert. Everybody in the whole world says this is the one that's going to get A Star is Born, their only Oscar. And it is Shallow. My pick is Shallow from A Star is Born. Lisa Marie Bowman and Scott Troutman agree with me on that as well. Next up we have, as do everybody else, next up we have original score. Black Panther. The nominees are Black Panther, Black Klansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins Returns. Again, this one seems to be a dead cert also. Everybody I've looked at, including my cohorts here, pretty much all agree with this. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I thought she did. Lisa Marie Bowman does not agree with me. But I picked If Beale Street Could Talk. Scotty picked If Beale Street Could Talk. And Lisa Marie Bowman picked Black Panther, which I could see because it was a good score. But everybody except Lisa Marie Bowman picked If Beale Street Could Talk. So that one's probably a dead cert. But hey, if Black Panther wins, I'd be happy. I hope Black Panther wins everything that it's nominated for. It's not going to, but I wish it would. This one's kind of interesting, and I'll have to look this up again because this might have happened before, and I'll have to verify to see if it actually did win both times. But the nominees for Best Foreign Language Film are Capernaum, Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, and Shoplifters. Pretty much everybody, including Lisa and Scott, all agree that Roma is going to win Best Foreign Film because it is. It was made in was it Italy, Spain, something like that. Where's his foreign film? There it is. And everybody else I've seen has it going for that as well. If that's the case, if it wins foreign language film and possibly could win Best Picture as well, if it wins both of them, it'll be one of the first films, I think, ever that has won both foreign film and Best Picture. I started thinking about that. I thought it's like it'll be the first one to do that. And I thought about, well, what about Life is Beautiful? And that came out a while back. Did that win Best Picture that year? I don't know if it did, or did it even win? Was it even nominated for foreign language film? I'm not sure. Or what about that silent film that won that year? Was that one? So I had to think about that. Maybe I'll go back to that. But it seemed a little odd that, Roma was nominated for both Best Foreign Language Film and Best Picture, and it could conceivably win both. So we'll see. But all of us agree Roma. Lisa Marie Bowman, myself, and Scott Troutman all agree Roma should be the winner. Documentary feature. The nominees are Free Solo, Hale County this evening, Minding the Gap of Fathers and Sons, and RBG, which I think is about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, I'm going with what everybody else seems to be doing online with Free Solo. They're picking Free Solo. But then I started looking at both Lisa and Scott's. They both are picking RBG about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which I could probably conceivably see as winning those. So I'm going against the grain. They both chose RBG, but I'm going with what other people have predicted. As I said, I haven't seen any of these things, so I'm going with Free Solo, and I'm going to stick with that. So if RBG wins, I'll be happy with that. That'd be great, but we'll see what happens there. Animated feature. This one's a dead cert. The nominees are Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Everybody in the universe, again, another dead cert. Everybody in the world, everybody in the universe is picking Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, as it absolutely should, because it is an amazing film. Myself, Lisa Marie Bowman, Scott Troutman all agree that that is going to be the best animated picture, as it should be. It comes out on digital on Tuesday, and then DVD about a month or so later. So if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you see it. It is absolutely worth it. It is a fantastic film. Loved it in the movie theater, and we'll pick it up when it comes out, available on DVD and Blu-ray. And it will win the award because it's won every other award this year. It's won the Golden Globe. It's won all the animation awards. It's won everything. Now into the meat of the stuff here. Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, BlacKkKlansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, A Star Is Born. I think all of us agree on this one. Yep. Ooh, no. Lisa Marie Bowman and myself, along with probably everybody else, sorry, Scott, think BlacKkKlansman, this is going to be their one they're going to win. Everybody pretty much is picking that one to win, except for Scott Troutman, who picked If Beale Street Could Talk. So we will see who comes out ahead on that one, but well worth a look to see what's up with that. I haven't seen it before. I heard it's actually really, really good. So huzzah. Best Original Screenplay. The nominees are The Favorite, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, and Vice. Now, a word real quick before I get into what my predictions are. A lot of people believe that First Reformed got the shaft. They believe First Reformed should have been nominated for Best Picture. Ethan Hawke should have been nominated for Best Actor. Everywhere you go to, they're like, man, he should have been nominated. He did such a great job. And everybody pretty much agrees with that. But the fact of the matter was he wasn't. It's the way Hollywood is that can be one of the ones down the line. So like, these are the people who got robbed in nominations. I haven't seen First Reformed. Do I think it's going to win Original Screenplay? No, I don't think so. Because you'd think that if Hollywood people who voted on these awards would like First Reformed here as Original Screenplay, they probably would have nominated it for Best Picture, maybe even got Ethan Hawke Best Actor, maybe even the director, whoever it was, to do Best Director, and would have gotten a few more nominations. This is the only nomination it got. and that's a bad sign. In this case, I picked the favorite. I think this is the one that the favorite's going to win because I think besides the costuming and set design, which I think Black Panther should absolutely win, the favorite will probably win those. But in my mind, the favorite's going to get an award. It's going to be this one for original screenplay. Lisa Marie Bowman believes in me also, and she says the favorite is going to win as well. And Scott says the favorite is going to win also. So all three of us agree with this one, and as do a lot of other people. They believe that this one's going to be here. But could First Reform sneak in and win this one? I don't think so, because if Hollywood was really invested in it, it would have been nominated for other things. Actor in a supporting role. The nominees are this is terrible, I can't pronounce the name. Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver for BlacKkKlansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice. I believe, as do everybody in the world, yep, Lisa Marie Bowman does, and I know Scott does, as do everybody online that I found as well, that Mahershala Ali for Green Book is going to win this one. Green Book, I don't know much about, has Viggo Mortensen in it. I think it's about like a gangster who has a friendship with a black guy, and this is what it is. And everyone is talking about how great Mahershala Ali's performance is. Everybody's picking him to win this. So this is another one of those that's probably a dead cert to win as well. And that'll be one of the first ones we'll get into the day. It'll be the best supporting actress and actor usually are one of the first awards that are announced in the first hour or so of the show to get people into, hey, it's a big award, so this is where it comes in. Best supporting actress in a supporting role. Amy Adams for Vice, Marina de Tavira for Roma, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Emma Stone for The Favorite, Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. I think Lisa Marie Bowman is the only one. No, Lisa agrees with this one. Okay, so all three of us do agree with this one. Yes, all three of us agree with this one. Again, this is one of those that pretty much is a dead cert, though there have been a few people who've picked other actresses. But in this case, Regina King has been winning all the awards, and both Lisa, Scott, and myself all agree that Regina King should win this one. Those are our predictions as well. Best actor in a leading role. Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Willem Dafoe at Eternity's Gate, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. Again, a lot of people thought Ethan Hawke should have been nominated for this one. If he would have been nominated, he would have been a shoo-in to win. The fact that he wasn't has opened the door for Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. He's won everything else so far. Golden Globes, SAG Awards, everything like that. He's won everything. Lisa Marie Bowman, though, disagrees with both me and Scott. Scott and I both pick Rami Malek. Lisa Marie Bowman thinks Christian Bale is going to win for Vice, where he plays the vice president, George Bush's vice president, which is what the film's about. And for the longest time, a lot of people were expecting this to be Christian Bale's year to win. But then when Rami Malek started winning all the awards for his portrayal of Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, that's when people started going, ooh, maybe not. But Lisa Marie Bowman still believes that Christian Bale could win this one. If there is anybody who could maybe compete with Rami Malek, it would probably be Christian Bale and Vice. But I still think Rami Malek, this one is in the bag for him. 99% of people believe that's who's going to win this one. Best actress in a leading role. The nominees are Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Now, this one, again, looked like for the longest time that if one actress was not in this list, this looked like this could be Lady Gaga's year to win an Oscar and add to her impressive career. I think she won a Golden Globe for they do different awards for musicals and dramas. But in this case, everybody in the world, I think, yes, Lisa does, And Scott does agree with me on this one, and everybody else in the world believe that this is finally going to be Glenn Close's year. She's been nominated so many times. She's never won an award. This is her year. This is the one she's going to win. Glenn Close, the wife, is the winner for Best Actress in a Leading Role, as predicted by Lisa Marie Bowman, Scott Troutman, and myself, and everybody else in the world. Again, if she wasn't in that, this probably would have been Lady Gaga's year and probably her award. But could she play spoiler? Absolutely. But I don't think it's going to happen. Down to the final two. Best Director. The nominees are Spike Lee for BlacKkKlansman, which is his first nominee, which is a crime in and of itself. Pawel Pawlikowski for Cold War. Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Adam McKay for Vice. Now, in and of itself, the directors is a lot of people of color nominees, which is fantastic and shows that Hollywood is maybe turning the corner now and starting to nominate more of those. In this case, I think Alfonso Cuarón's got this one in the bag for Roma, as do most everybody else. Lisa Marie Bowman believes Alfonso Cuarón is going to win, and Scott Troutman believes, where's Scotty's? Alfonso Cuarón is going to win also. So all of us agree with this. Everybody in the world agrees with this. Alfonso Cuarón is going to win Best Director, according to us. So we'll see what happens. Finally, the big one. Wow, I hadn't even gone an hour here. More like a little bit over half an hour. But hey, every year, I've got less time. Maybe next year, if I feel more up to it, maybe I'll go out and see some more of these. Maybe I'll get someone to debate with, and we'll have a longer episode. But right now, as I said, this is kind of a meh type of thing, and I want to get this out there to everybody so they can take a look at it over the next 5-6 hours before the event actually starts. And will I be live tweeting it? Probably eventually down the line. So we'll see. But for now, this is the Best Picture. Best Picture nominees are Black Panther, BlacKkKlansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. Myself, Scott Troutman, and not Lisa Marie Bowman. Me and Scott Troutman, and pretty much everybody else in the world, to be honest, sorry, Lisa, predicting Roma to be Best Picture of the year, and going to be one of the first pictures to be Best Picture and Best Foreign Film at the same time, winning both of them. Lisa Marie Bowman, who, as I said earlier in the show, absolutely loves this movie, believes BlacKkKlansman should win for Best Picture. I don't think it's going to happen, Lisa, but... And there was somebody else who thought Black Panther was going to win. I don't think it's going to happen either. I think Roma's got this in the bag. They're the only one that seems everybody who has an in Hollywood seems to agree on. I think in this case with Lisa's pick, she is liking it more because she liked the film a little bit more than other people might have. Or thinks it has a chance to win over this. So, okay. So that's it. Those are the 24 Oscar nominees that I have picked. Just to reiterate, this is me. Best Picture, Roma. Best Director, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. Glenn Close for The Wife as Best Actress. Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury for Bohemian Rhapsody, an actor, Best Actor. Best Supporting Actress, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Best Actor in Supporting Role, Mahershala Ali for Green Book. Original Screenplay, The Favorite. Adapted Screenplay, BlacKkKlansman. Animated Feature, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Documentary Feature, Free Solo. Foreign Language Film, Roma. Original Score, If Beale Street Could Talk. Original Song, Shallow, A Star is Born. Sound Editing, Bohemian Rhapsody. Sound Mixing, Bohemian Rhapsody. Makeup and Hairstyling, Vice. Costume Design, Black Panther. Cinematography, Roma. Production design, Black Panther. Film editing, The Favorite. Visual effects, Avengers Infinity War. Documentary short subject, period, end of sentence. Short film live action, Skin. Short film animated, Bow. Looking at this stuff, I can see myself doing another 18 and 6 possibly. I hope I do better. But we'll find out tonight. Look for my live tweeting if I decide I'm going to do it. I'm still up in the air about it, but I'm going to try to get this posted as soon as I can so people can take a look at it quicker. So on that note, that's the 2019 Oscars. Thanks to Lisa Marie Bowman and Scott Troutman for their picks and letting me use them on air. Well, at least I think Scott did. I didn't ask Lisa, but I'm sure she wouldn't mind. And that's it. The Oscars start at 8 p.m. tonight, I believe. And I think it's only supposed to go like 3 hours. So it'll probably be over by 11, they're hoping for. They don't want to go any further over than that. So we'll see how that goes without a host and doing picks during commercials. Still a bad idea, in my opinion. Ways to fix it. Put it on Saturday. Show all the awards. Show all the speeches. Cut down on the stupid pet tricks and the stupid games and sketches and stuff like that. If you must have a host, cut his or her monologue down by half and just let them be a segue person. That's all I got to say about that. 2019 Oscars and nominations, predictions in the book. Find out next week how well I did. Enjoy. Stay tuned for a new episode of the Comic Call coming up in about 5-10 minutes. Bye.